What's up, everybody? What's up, guys? Today we're gonna talk about how to understand movies, TV shows without subtitles. Okay. First of all, before we get started, I just want to say that let's say you're walking down the street, you just come across a foreigner and you're having a conversation with them, you understand what they say, or you're watching YouTube videos and you understand those YouTubers, you don't need to use English subtitles, you understand what they say without subtitles. But when it comes to understanding movies, TV shows, let's say you're watching sitcoms like Friends or How I Met Your Mother or The Office or Big Bang Theory, or you're watching sci-fi like Stranger Things or Westworld, or you're watching something political like Homeland or Peaky Blinders or The Crown or House of Cards, and you struggle with understanding what they say. You always feel like you need to use English subtitles. So basically, today I want to talk about how to understand movies, TV shows without subtitles, and how to get to that level where you will understand everything without subtitles. Okay, this is the main goal of today's video. And I also want to say that it's just a side note. Improve my listening skill has always been harder for me than improve my speaking skill. Okay. I mean, you can improve your speaking skill. You can just practice your speaking skill, just have a conversation with someone, or you can just talk to yourself when you're alone. When it comes to improving your listening skill, you can just basically improve your listening skill, making listening practice. You know what I mean? You can just improve your listening skill like, watching TV shows with English subtitles. That's not enough, okay? Everybody would give this advice like, watch TV shows with English subtitles. Watching TV shows with English subtitles or just making listening practice, it's not enough on its own, okay? So if you really want to improve your listening skill, if you really want to understand everything that you listen to, every movie that you watch, regardless what you listen to, regardless what topic it is, let's say you're watching sci-fi or sitcom or something political or a thriller, I don't know, like you're watching something on a very specific topic and you want to understand what they say, you're watching movies in different accents, like British accent or Australian accent or American accent or other different accents. There are other things that you can do. And today, I'm going to share my experiences. I'm going to share how I improve my listening skill. What are the things that I did for improve my listening skill, okay? I'm going to share my experiences. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. But before I get into that, I just want to say that, guys, when it comes to improve listening, there are three main challenges, okay? First of all, I just want to talk about those challenges. I just want to talk about those problems, those obstacles that you're going to come across, that you're going to have to overcome, that you're going to have to deal with. And then I'm just going to show you how to overcome those challenges, these obstacles, okay? Okay, when it comes to improving your listening skill, the first problem that you're going to come across is different accents, okay? I remember when I first started learning English, with House of Cards or Friends. I was listening to CNN all the time. I remember vividly at the end of the first 8 months, I was almost able to understand everything in American accent, okay? I was watching House of Cards, I was watching The Friends, I was watching How I Met Your Mother, and I didn't need to use English subtitles anymore. I was understanding everything without subtitles, okay? But then I remember vividly, like yesterday, because it was like a very, it was like so shocking to me. It was like very shocking to me. I remember like yesterday. I remember at the end of like 8 months, I watched The Crown, which is a really great British TV show. And basically, they're speaking with British accents. When I first watched The Crown, I was like, oh my god, what is going on? I wasn't even able to like pick out one word. And it sucked, man. It literally sucked. I was like, I don't get anything. I can't even pick out one single word. It was just like so bad. I felt so bad, because I was like trying to improve my listening skill for the past 8 months. I never thought that I wouldn't even be able to like pick out one single word when it comes to British accent. So basically, the first thing that you gotta expose yourself to as many accents as you possibly can, okay? As many accents as you possibly can. And I'm gonna talk about this thing, how to deal with this problem. Okay, this is the first challenge, guys. And the second challenge is spoken English. When I first started learning English, I was just so beginner. When I listened to native speakers, I would be like, oh my god, every single line that they were saying would sound like one single word to me. how fast they speak, you know? Every single line that they were saying would sound like one single word, and I was like, how am I gonna ever be able to catch their lines? Understand what they say? How am I gonna be able to catch their lines? They're speaking so fast. And that was so scary, especially if you're just a beginner and, you know, let's say Monica speaks.
Behind her, there's a guy who has the potential to break our hearts and plunge us into a pit of depression.
Going well. Do you think they're having fun? Am I talking too fast?
Nope, sound like me.
Let's say Monica speaks, or from How I Met Your Mother, Ted speaks, and they sound like they speak so fast. The reason why it sounds like they speak so fast is because of the way they eliminate the sounds, because of the way they connect them to each other, okay? When it comes to understanding spoken English, you gotta understand how they eliminate the sounds or how they connect them to each other. For instance, when I say, I went out there, I went out there, I don't say it like, I went out there, I went out there, I went out, you know, went out there. Or when we say, How I Met Your Mother, we don't say it like, How I Met Your Mother. We say, How I. You know, How I Met Your Mother.
Called How I Met Your Mother.
They connect them to each other, they connect them all together, okay? So basically, you gotta get familiar with spoken English. I made a video where I talked about NC rule, you know? When you say this NC, let's say you're gonna say, listen to me. Instead of saying like, listen to me, they say, listen to me.
Listen to me. You listen to me. You listen to me.
Or when they say, you know, mean to me, they say, mean to me. You know?
Any French people, please don't be mean to me.
Instead of saying like mean to me, or listen to me, listen to me, you know? Listen to me, Dad, listen to me, or
Come on, Daddy, listen to me.
Or talking to you.
I'm not talking to you, you broke my fridge.
Also, I just want to say that let's say, you know, isn't he? For instance, you know, instead of saying like isn't he, you know, let's say you're watching The Office and you come across Pam.
He is, isn't he?
And you hear her saying that isn't he? Instead of saying isn't he, isn't he? Okay? So basically this is what I mean by spoken English, okay? This is exactly what I mean by spoken English, okay guys? If you haven't watched this video, go watch it where I talk about NC rule. You can go watch this video after this video if you didn't watch it anyways. So if you like to watch it, if you want to understand, you know, native speakers, if you want to understand fast speeches, I highly recommend you to watch it. I definitely recommend you to watch this video where I talked about NC rule. Alright, what was I gonna say? So there are so many things like that, guys. There are so many things like that, and there are consonants and vowels. They connect them to each other and they eliminate some of the sounds. So basically, the second challenge is spoken English, guys, because, you know, it sounds like they speak so fast, but actually they're not speaking fast, okay? So the second challenge is spoken English, and you gotta get familiar with spoken English, and I'm just gonna show you how to do that. And the last and final challenge, and one of the biggest problem, is vocabulary. Your listening skill, how good you are at listening, is gonna depend on your vocabulary knowledge, okay? The more words you know, the better you get at listening, okay? You gotta expand your vocabulary because, you know, let's say you're watching Friends, you understand what they say without subtitles because they're talking about, you know, mainly daily talk. When I first started learning English, I had a very poor vocabulary. Let's say when I was watching House of Cards, I would come across many different political business terms that I'd never seen before. And when you come across those words that you never seen before, you struggle with understanding them.
I was watching them mangle it in the Senate. Or filibuster.
And lack of grit as a consequence of their privilege.
Always a mistake to assume just because people are privileged, they lack grit.
If you have a limited vocabulary, you're always gonna struggle with understanding TV shows. You're not gonna struggle with understanding YouTubers because they're not gonna, you know, use very extreme words. But when you watch political news, when you watch movies on a very specific topic, yeah, you're gonna struggle with it. So basically, the last and final challenge is vocabulary, okay? You gotta expand your vocabulary. You gotta learn how words are pronounced, how they're pronounced, and you gotta know their meanings, okay? These are our three main problems, three main challenges. Accents, different accents, spoken English, it sounds like they speak so fast, and vocabulary. accent, spoken English, and vocabulary. These are the main 3 challenges that we have to deal with, okay? We have to overcome those challenges. Okay, now for the solution part of this video, I had 2 methods that I applied to my life in these 4 years in order to improve my listening skill. The first method is shadowing. What is shadowing? You try to speak simultaneously, you try to speak at the same time while characters are speaking. For instance, you're watching Friends, right? You're watching Friends and you try to speak at the same time while they're speaking. The reason why I was making shadowing practices is when you try to speak at the same time, while they're speaking, you just pay extra attention to understanding what they say, because in order to speak at the same time, in order to improve your speaking skill, first of all, you gotta understand how they connect the sounds, how they connect the words, how they connect sounds, how they eliminate sounds, okay? You force yourself to understand how they speak, okay? Or when Chandler says, something terrible must have happened here.
Something terrible must have happened here.
When you first start to learn English, you're like, something terrible must have happened here, because must have, right? When you say must have happened here, something must have happened here again and again, when you repeat this line, something terrible must have happened here. At some point, it sounds like so normal to you. What is going on here?
What is going on here?
What is going on here? You repeat it again and again, and you're not struggling with understanding those lines anymore. And there's a way of doing this practice every single day. I used to make this practice for 30 minutes, okay? Every single day. I'm gonna try to explain to you with examples why this practice is so important for your listening skill. Let's say you're watching Friends, you're learning English with Friends. This is a script from Friends. Of course, when you're watching Friends, you're gonna use subtitles, you're gonna use English subtitles. For instance, Monica says, there's nothing to tell, it's just some guy I work with.
There's nothing to tell. It's just some guy I work with.
You don't say it like, it's just some guy I work with. It's just some guy I work with. For instance, when you say, there's gotta be something wrong with him.
There's gotta be something wrong with him.
You're gonna repeat these lines again and again. So basically, you're gonna get familiar with the way he speaks, okay? With the way how he connects those words to each other, how he eliminates the words. You can see that in this chapter as a beginner, there was tons of words that I didn't know because, I was totally beginner and basically I didn't know almost every single word. I was looking up every single one of them. For instance, I was repeating this line, push her down the stairs, push her down the stairs. Come on, daddy, listen to me.
Come on, Daddy, listen to me.
Alright, you see, listen to me. This was the first time I was like, dude, what is going on here? Listen to me. She doesn't say like, listen to me. She says, listen to me. So basically, when you repeat this line, listen to me, listen to me, listen to me, it's gonna sound so normal to you at some point. But you just gotta repeat those lines, okay? Friends is 20 minutes long. You're just gonna divide this one episode, into 4 different parts. 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Basically, every single day, I used to do shadowing practice for 30 minutes, but I used to just focus on like only 5 minutes. Let's say today is Monday, okay? This is our first day. Today is first 5 minutes. Tomorrow is second 5 minutes. The day after tomorrow is another 5 minutes. And basically, you should be finishing one episode. You should be finishing this first episode by the end of the Thursday. Let's say you've repeated first 88 lines. You still have time because you have to repeat those lines during 40 minutes and then start all over again until your time is up, okay? Until this 40 minutes is over.
Barry, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Guys, as you can see right here, at the end of the 10 minutes, you can see 175 lines that you have to repeat, okay? So this is exactly why I will suggest you, this is exactly why I recommend you just focus on 5 minutes of one episode, okay? Every single day, just focus on 5 minutes. Because this is not about finishing the chapter. This is about getting familiar with the way they speak and with the way they pronounce those words, with the way they connect those words, with the way they eliminate those words, okay? It is about getting familiar with the way they speak and, getting familiar with their accent. And I just want to say that, fun fact, if you're really good at listening, sometimes you're gonna realize that subtitles don't match with the original script. In order to fit the subtitles, they're just like cutting some of the words out. For instance, if you look at it carefully, if you listen to it carefully, you're gonna see that in this scene, you don't see some of the words that Rachel says here in the subtitles. Look at the subtitle and Listen to what Rachel says here.
I know you probably think this is all about what I said the other night about you making love with your socks on, but it isn't.
Do you see that? That happens in many of the movies, in many of the sitcoms. In order to fit the subtitles, sometimes they cut some of the words out.
I will not take this abuse.
You're right, I'm sorry. Once I was a wooden boy, a little... Did you make it, or are you just serving it?
Did you make it, or are you just serving it? For instance, my Chandler says, I don't even specifically hear "are," or are you just serving it? He connects them.
Did you make it, or are you just serving
Or are you just serving it? Okay, did you make it, or are you just serving it? You don't hear specifically "are." Listen to it carefully.
Did you make it, or are you just serving it?
So basically, you can expect to hear it like, did you make it, or are you just serving it?
I'm just serving it.
Yeah, I'll have a cup of coffee.
I'll have a cup of coffee. We don't say it like, I will have a cup of coffee, please. I'll have a cup of coffee. I'll have a cup of coffee, because we connect them. I'll have a cup of coffee. So basically, you repeat this line again and again. I'll have a cup of coffee. I'll have a cup of coffee. Or did you make it, or are you just serving it? Did you make it, or are you just serving it? As you can see, this entire whole episode, you can see there are 365 lines you have to repeat again and again, that you have to go over again and again. You're gonna have to repeat 365 lines. At the end of this first script, as you can see, there was more than 220 lines that I didn't know at the time. For instance, Rose speaks so fast here. Look at that.
Listen, do you think... And try not to let my intense vulnerability become any kind of a factor here. But do you think it would be okay if I asked you out?
So basically, you're gonna repeat this line again and again. And it's first, and by the way, I just want to say that at first, you're not gonna be able to catch their lines. It's gonna be impossible for you to repeat those lines at the same time. But as time goes on, you're gonna be able to, maybe 6 months later, because it took me about 6 months to be able to repeat those lines at the same time while characters were speaking. But after like 6 months or 8 months, you're not even gonna need to use English subtitles. You're gonna be able to repeat their lines without subtitles, and you're gonna see the difference. And you're gonna see that you start to understand what they say without subtitles, okay? That's gonna happen to you, because it happened to me. And very quickly, for the final example, I did the same practice when I was learning English with The Crown, because I really wanted to understand British accents, and I just really wanted to see how they pronounce the words, how they connect, or just pick one British YouTuber or British movie and do the same practice with British accents, okay?
They got through it. I got through it. I think they'd have preferred a nice pink-faced Marquis with a grouse moor in the Scottish borders. Are you sure you wouldn't have preferred one of those, someone with a grand title, rather than a homeless Charlie Crown?
You still have 24 hours to change your mind.
The day I decided to learn English, I made a decision. This decision was, wherever I go, whatever I do, when I go outside, when I go out there, wherever I am, I'm always gonna listen to something in English. Every single day. And since then, I never stopped doing this. Let's say Billie Eilish, this video. I'm gonna listen to this video for like maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. It depends on my level, okay? Let's say I'm going to college or I'm going to work. I'm gonna put on my headphones and I'm gonna start to listening to this video again and again. Every time you listen to it, you're gonna definitely pick up something. At first, maybe you're not gonna get anything. But the second time, the third time, the fourth time, the fifth time, the sixth time, when you listen to it again and again, over and over again, you're definitely gonna get something. Of course, that totally depends on your level. For instance, there is no subtitles in this video, and when you listen to this video, when you listen to Billie Eilish, if you understand everything she says here, then you're good to go. You can skip to the next video. You can listen to something else. But if you're not able to understand what she says 100%, then listen to this video, when you're on the way, when you're going to work, you're going to school, wherever you are, just listen to that again and again. You don't have to understand everything 100%, but listen to it again and again. Just don't skip to the next video. Just try to get familiar with the way she speaks and the words that she's using. Maybe there are words that you don't know. You don't have to know every word's meaning, but you just try to understand, how they're pronounced, okay? So this is how we're gonna improve your listening skill.
The way that the bass sounds, you could think it's in a different key. And every time we would do it, I would hum along like da 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 da. And then Phineas always would take it out, and I would be like, no, 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 it should be there.
Oftentimes Billy will go like, no, 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 leave that in. And I go like, if we're gonna put that in, let's actually work on it. You know what I mean? And so this humming, even though it sounds very lazy, we tracked knowing it was gonna be the humming in it.
I mean, I'm giving this advice because, you know, 4 years ago, I wasn't able to understand French. Even with English subtitles, okay? I was totally beginner. So basically, this is what I was doing, okay? Listen to something, when you go out there, wherever you are, listen to something and listen to it again and again, okay? So this is how you're gonna start to improve your listening skill. Maybe it's gonna take you a year, maybe it's gonna take you 2 years, but at some point you're gonna get to that level where you understand every single thing, regardless of what you listen, regardless of what topic it is, regardless of what accent it is. You're gonna understand Margot Robbie, or you're gonna understand Emma Stone, or you're gonna understand Billie Eilish, or you're gonna understand Saoirse Ronan, or you're gonna understand, you know, Emma Watson. Regardless of what accent they're using, okay? You're gonna understand everything they say, every topic they're talking about, if you do these practices. Okay, guys? I hope you get something out of this video, and yeah, that's all I wanted to say, guys. That's all I wanted to say for improving your listening skill. If you really want to improve your listening, just apply those methods to your life, because I'm speaking from my personal experiences, and that's all, okay? So yeah, that's all I wanted to say in this video, and I'll see you guys next week in the next video, in the next episode, okay? Bye. Bye-bye.
Lovely, you want me to be.
So does he have a hump and a hairpiece?
What do you see? Staring at the pictures now, I wait for them.
Wait, does he eat chalk? Just because I don't want her to go through what I went through with Carl.
But never knew the meaning. Keep slipping through my fingers each time.
You have to go over it again and again.
Is everything okay?
It's work stuff.
What kind of work stuff?
Congressman Walensky, he wants to go over the tax incentive stuff we sent him.
Guys, I just want to stop the video at this point and say 2 important things to you. But I was learning English with House of Cards, as you can see. But I was repeating those lines, as you can see. There are 2 important, crucial points here. One of them is incentive. Normally, you can say incentive, but also you can say incentive. Because NT, do you see that? Incentive. Tax incentive stuff.
Tax incentive stuff we sent him.
Not incentive, but incentive. And the other thing is, do you see that? We sent him. Not sent him, but we sent him. Again, NC. You can say we sent him, you can say we sent him.
They'd have preferred a nice pink-faced smart crisp with a grouse more in the Scottish borders.
Staring at the wall, I know you really love the color. We picked it out over the phone. Remember.
First of all, I just want to talk about those challenges. I just want to talk about those problems, those obstacles.
Staring at the pictures now, I know they try to show me.
When you listen to this video, when you listen to Billie Eilish, if you understand everything she says here, then you're good to go. You can skip to the next video.